What's going on, all my sim racing plebs? Now today is a really big day, as finally we have the big update for Assetto Corsa Competizione, and this is the update that I've been looking forward to for the past month or two, because I was hoping that this was going to be the update that excels this game from basically running like a potato to running to a full-fledged next generation game that can hopefully mirror the PC version. Now with this update came a lot of features, but some of the highlighted ones that I was really looking forward to was 4K, 60 frames per second, 30 cars on the racetrack at once, something that the PS4 and the Xbox One couldn't do, dynamic weather on all tracks, night and day cycle, endurance races, and a bunch of other features that were being updated on this PS5 and Xbox Series X version. Now the reason why I'm so excited for these updates for this game, I just want to see this game succeed, is because this game is one of the best games for physics, and also the closest thing you could probably get to driving a GT car. And on the PC version, it's just one of the best sim racing games that you can actually purchase at the moment. So with that being said, I'm hoping that this next generation version can actually mirror the PC, just so you guys can get some of the awesome experience that we get on the PC version, and you guys could have as much fun as we do when we jump into this game. Now before we jump into the gameplay, we have to of course do that YouTuber stuff, so if you guys really enjoy the content, feel free to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, hit that subscribe button down below to catch more content. And now that I'm done being a YouTube slut, let's jump right into the gameplay. So we are here on ACC. Now before we jumped into anything, before we touched single player, multiplayer, even got into the car, I wanted to make sure that all the controls were transferred over from the PS4 version of ACC, and luckily everything did get transferred over without a hitch. But the only issue that I was really having with the game was the force feedback. Now I heard from a couple people from earlier streams and earlier videos that the force feedback just wasn't there compared to the PC port. So the PC version, you just are given so much information. You're able to feel majority of the cracks, the track, the rumble strips, the tires, everything. It just, you get a lot of information going through the wheel, and it just provides a really great experience on this game. And not only that, it grants you a lot of confidence, because you know if you're pushing the car too much, where you need to back off, if you're not pushing enough, and just really fine-tunes the limit of where you're at with the car and when you're doing some of these races. Now that is so important on this game if you want to have a really good experience when it comes down to the racing, but unfortunately it just did not show on this game. Not sure if it's just something that the PS5 can't handle and just can't compute all that different tire models and just the physics that the PC port can. But if it can, and if it's something that can be patched up, hopefully they can patch it up very soon, because I feel like once they are able to get that down, it's basically going to be very close to the PC version on physics and how the wheel handles. So that's just one of the complaints that I have when it comes to the actual gameplay. It's just make sure the force feedback is done correctly. Now when it comes to multiplayer, I was a tad bit disappointed with the turnout. I was expecting a bit more players to be on this game. Not sure if it was just because of the shortage of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, since that is basically a unicorn to try to get. But around the time I played, it was very late at night, and unfortunately we just could not find many open lobbies. I think I only found like maybe 2 or 3 lobbies that were actually in game progress. So this was one that I was actually able to get my hands on and get into, and it was a multiplayer race around Monza of all places. So basically it was just typical Monza, just a lot of cars just crashing carnage. Going into turn 1, you see that we get hit from behind from the Ferrari. Not sure if it was my fault or his fault, but either way we got turned, and ahead of us going to Curva Grande, 2 cars make contact. We basically have nowhere to go, run straight into the Bentley, and it's typical multiplayer. So I'm really excited to see when more people get their hands on this game, how the multiplayer actually functions when you're able to get more people into the lobbies, because there is a cap of 30 now, unlike the PS4 and the Xbox version, which I believe the cap was at 16 or 20. But now we are able to do 30 players, so I'm really excited for more people to get their a hold of this game and just seeing how the lobbies actually perform when you have 30 players and how the network is. Now, this is going to be a brand new game, so it comes with bugs. Now, this is a bug that I kept experiencing on some of the tracks. Was it basically locked my controls before the race even started. I'm not sure exactly what was going on. It almost acted like if I was in the pits, but it did happen to me on a couple of occasions, and it was not fun because it just could not allow me to start the race, and it actually killed me right here as we just get demolished from the Aston Martin right behind us. And it was just a game-breaking glitch that they should really look into, try to patch it up. But other than that, I really didn't have that many other glitches that just broke the game for me besides that. Now, when it comes to the AI and playing single player, this is where I was able to have majority of my fun. So I was able to crank this up to about 95 skill level, 95 aggression, and it just provided some really great racing. It almost felt like I was playing on multiplayer, how well the AIs were doing. I was very, very worried to see how the AIs were going to perform, especially with 30 cars on the racetrack. And to my surprise, they handled and reacted and performed very, very well. I think, honestly, Gran Turismo Sophie, you might have to actually learn from ACC on how well the AI can be. But if they can provide a good racing experience like this, it's going to be a fun time in Gran Turismo Sport. But anyways, Gran Turismo 7. But anyways, here on ACC, the AI were very, very well, and I'm actually very, very pleased. I think that the fact that the CPU is a lot better than the performance on the PS4 or the Xbox One, it's just provided Kunos and 505 Games to just put in more effort into the AI, and also just put them to where they're a lot more intelligent with some of the moves, as if they do see an opportunity, if you put the aggression up, they just go for the opportunity, and it really keeps you on your toes and just provides a really good single player experience. So I give a really good 2 thumbs up for the AI. Now, when it comes down to the graphics are really, really great. You expect next generation graphics on a next generation console, and boy, do they deliver on this game. Now, it's not the ultra great graphics that they have on the PC, but it's basically almost there. There's just a couple of things that they did have to downscale, like I believe the mirrors and a couple of the background environment stuff, but I mean, you really don't notice it, especially when you're engaged and immersed into the racing and just focusing on trying to go for overtakes, defend, and all that good stuff. So it basically goes on the back of your head, some of the graphic stuff. But the main thing that we were all hoping and waiting for on this next generation console with this game was the 60 frames per second, and I'm glad to announce that it runs absolutely amazing. It runs like a dream. 60 frames per second, never really had any frame drops, even with a lot of cars on the screen, and that was the #1 thing that I was just hoping for. I mean, if they couldn't get the physics right, if they couldn't get the multiplayer right, at least get 60 frames per second, then you can start working on the other stuff and patch those things up. But I'm happy to announce that it does run at 60 frames per second. Doesn't run like 30 frames per second how it did on the PS4 version or the Xbox One version. And again, if you have not experienced 60 frames per second on a racing game, I highly recommend it. It's just such a huge game changer, and it honestly provides a much better experience for gameplay. Now, when it comes down to my final verdict on this game, I think it's a really good upgrade. I believe that 505 is heading towards a good direction when it comes to having ACC on the console. It's still not close enough to the PC version. There's still a lot of features missing, and as well as some things that can definitely be improved on, but they're taking a step towards the right way, especially with these next generation consoles. So I'm very excited to see where this game is going to be in a couple of months, and if you do see this on sale, feel free to purchase this game if you want to have a good sim racing game on the consoles. And if you have this version on the PS4 or the Xbox One, feel free to upgrade it. It's absolutely free to upgrade the game, so might as well do it if you do have the PS5 or the Xbox Series X. So that is my verdict on this game. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And again, if you guys really enjoyed the video, feel free to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn that red subscribe button into a great button. And if you guys really enjoyed the video, I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Peace.